Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video. Going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's second video. Day 10 will take us to the 8th of October and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensemble because they run around a couple of weeks. So we'll have a look at CFSB2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. That will get us into second half of October. I shall get on with that for you in a moment. Just say that first, video receivers are 6 AM upload, so please check out that video if you'd like to do that. Please like, share, subscribe on the vid. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. Right, let's start off in the tropical Atlantic then. So we have a red X and we have Hurricane Ian. More about Ian in a moment. Let's deal with the red X first of all. That is disturbance 1 with a 90% chance of cyclone formation in the next 2 and also 5 days. It looks very likely that will become our next storm. They say a short-lived tropical depression and/or tropical storm is expected to form later today as the system moves generally northwards or northwestwards through the end of the week, remaining over the open central Atlantic Ocean. They've also got Hurricane Ian over here. Now, this has powered up more than expected. This is now just under Category 5. Look at this, giving maximum sustained winds of 155 miles per hour just off the west coast of Florida. Got a minimum central pressure of 937 millibars and is moving north-northeast at 10 miles per hour. That is ferocious. 157 mile per hour maximum sustained winds would get it to Category 5, so just 2 miles an hour of a Category 5 hurricane. And this is going to push into Florida over the next few hours. The current position is just there and it's going to push into Florida. And as it goes into Florida, of course, it will lose a lot of energy and it will go from a hurricane to a tropical storm by the time we get into tomorrow. Then it'll carry on northwards as a tropical storm or depression into Georgia and also into South Carolina, going post-tropical somewhere around northern Carolina. They're saying catastrophic storm surge in inundation of 12 to 16 feet above ground level, along with destructive waves, are expected somewhere along the southwest Florida coastline from Eaglewood to Bonita Beach, including Charlotte Harbor. Residents in these areas should urgently follow any evacuation orders. Catastrophic wind damage is expected along the southwestern coast of Florida beginning in the next few hours, where the core of Ian makes landfall. Preparations to protect life and property should be urgently rushed to completion. It's probably a bit late now, I would have thought. And point number 3, heavy rainfall will spread along the Florida peninsula through Thursday and reach portions of southeast USA later this week and this weekend. Widespread, life-threatening, catastrophic flooding is expected along portions of central Florida, with considerable flooding in southern Florida, northern Florida, southeastern Georgia, and also coastal South Carolina. Widespread, prolonged, major and record river flooding is expected across central Florida. Gosh, what a storm Ian has become. Absolutely incredible. I hope everybody is staying safe over there in that part of the United States. Of course, we're all thinking of everyone over there. Well, coming back to home, things are a lot calmer here, of course, but the central temperature is continuing its gradual decline. So we're now standing at 14.9. We've gone under 15 degrees for the first time this month. That is still 1.3 degrees above average. That's provisional to yesterday, to the 27th of September. That can carry on gradually falling over the next couple of days. So I think we're shaping up for around a 14.5 finish. That would be my guess where we'll land up. Remember, we don't expect downwards corrections now. We always just shave off like 0.2 or 0.3 of a degree, but that should be where we actually are, more or less. No, it should have ironed that out. So we're not expecting like a big correction downwards at the end of the month. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles. The next couple of weeks, the red line is a 30-year upper air temperature average for Birmingham. We're starting off below average at the moment, pretty cool. I'd say generally quite cool into the opening day or two of October. There's a little bit of a tick up there late Friday into Saturday, but it's associated with an area of low pressure, that's all. It does look as though through the course of next week we probably get a warm up there around the middle part of the week and into the second half before things then gradually drop away through into the second week of October, although that is, of course, excellent rain. Precipitation-wise, going to be some wet weather coming up both tonight and again on Friday through for Birmingham and for many parts of the country too. Probably a bit drier then over the weekend into the early part of next week, and then maybe later next week it turns a bit more unsettled, although again that's extended range and is therefore unreliable. Temperature anomalies from the 28th of September 6th of October, gone a little bit above average now. It's going to be warming up next week. Precipitation anomalies from the 28th of September 6th of October, wetter than average in the north, but drier than average or near north further south. Latest wind from that from earth.northschool.net shows we're still drawing in those chilly northerly winds today. Down they come. And we've got low pressure in the North Sea as well. That brings some wet weather into eastern counties this afternoon. Let's drag this around and have a look at Ian. There we go. There he is. Wow, look at that. Let's zoom in a bit, shall we? I love these charts from Earth and Old School being able to zoom in. Wow, look at that. Hurricane Ian. Almost very high-end Category 4. Almost Category 5 Hurricane Ian. Just off the coast of Florida there. Imagine how devastating those winds rotating around Ian are going to be there. Oh my goodness gracious. Imagine being just on the coast there with Ian offshore in the Gulf of Mexico. Devastating, absolutely devastating. Stay safe, everybody over there. Right, here we go then. You can make your own run for midnight on Saturday. Looking showery, wet and windy, low pressure around Iceland. And as we run through into the open next week, then high pressure begins to build up from the southwest. So it turns drier and milder through the early part of next week with that ridge of high pressure. It doesn't look like it hangs around all that long. By Wednesday, this time next week, it's slipping over to the eastern side of Europe and lower pressure coming back in from off the Atlantic, probably bringing more rain into the north and west, especially Icon. Looks like that. Once more, low pressures around Iceland have looking showery and quite cool over the weekend. Into next week, though, high pressure ridges up from the southwest, from the Azores, turning things drier and warmer in the south anyway, but in the north, it still looks rather showery, a little bit on the cool side. That's Wednesday next week, again looking rather showery, a little bit on the cool side too. That's as far as we get to with Icon to midday on Wednesday next week. Again, we're in this flat westerly flow, so shower particularly so for more northern and western areas. The GFS midnight run with low pressure around Iceland on Saturday. Again, we're getting rid of a weather system, taking wet and windy weather away to the east and turning things showery. And then into the open of next week, then high pressure ridges up from the southwest and southern areas drier and warmer. But out to the west, low pressure will bring further wet weather into the north and west. High pressure then really starts to establish around days 9 and 10. This is day 10, Saturday 8th of October. High pressure then really building quite strong. So it's a little bit showery through the first week of October. So a little bit changeable. But by the end of the first week of October, then the GFS midnight run properly gets a high pressure in. And that high pressure then sits around the country as a major dominating feature in the second week of October with the GFS midnight run, 1040 millibar area of high pressure there on the 12th of October. And that high pressure still in business right way up to the end of the GFS midnight run, which today gets us to Friday, the 14th of October, under that large ridge of high pressure. What about the 6th then? Very latest GFS run again, looking rather cool and showery on Saturday, and then into the early part of next week. High pressure ridges up from the southwest, so southern air dry and warmer, but in the north and west, it's going to be a little bit more showery. Up towards day 10, the high pressure area establishes strongly over and to the east of the country. That allows warmer air to push up from the south too. So we're looking properly dry and warm there by day 10 with the GFS 6. That dry, warm weather is pushed away quite quickly, though, by those showery westerly winds, certainly from the north, anyway. But for the south, we keep those high pressure influences going for quite some time. Right at the very end of the GFS 6 14th of October, high pressure then pulls out into the Atlantic, and we turn the wind into a cooler northerly. So northerly winds come back there by the very end of the GFS midnight run. But again, does 6-7 run. But it does look as though there will be quite a bit of dry weather, especially for the south, around days 9, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right, if you enjoyed the video, please use smash the like button. Thank you so much, everybody, dear Matt. Don't forget to drop a comment and let us know what you think about all of our videos. And don't forget to tell your friends and family about GavsWeatherVids as well, and ask them to subscribe. It would be fantastic if you could do that. Right, GEM has weather system cooling eastwards on Saturday, taking wet weather away with it. We're into a showery sort of pattern over the weekend. And then into the open of next week, high pressure sort of ridging to our south and also to our east, bringing quite a bit of dry weather with it. Low pressure then coming back in through the middle part of the week, especially to the north and the south. Probably quite a lot of dry weather with that high pressure though. And by day 10, which is the 8th of October, high pressure more or less in control, except across the northern parts of Scotland. And then finally, the ECM once more with weather system around Iceland on Saturday, and clearing eastwards with the weather front across eastern parts of the country. So wet, windy Saturday, moving to showery west and northwest winds rest of the weekend. Open next week, high pressure ridges up from the southwest, bringing increasingly dry and milder weather for a time for the open part of the week, and then another weather system moving in on Wednesday, taking some rain with it. Up to day 10, high pressure dominates, especially for England and Wales, but for Scotland it is a little bit more showery. This is the precipitation forecast based on that ECM run, which is meteo.com. Wet weather coming in from the east across England and Wales, eastern England initially, and then across the rest of England and Wales through this afternoon and this evening and overnight. Tomorrow will be a quieter day and probably wet and windy as we go into Friday, with that massive rain, strong winds coming in off the Atlantic, and then we're showery really over the weekend, more general rain perhaps down in the south. Drier through the early part of next week, and then more wet weather comes in off the Atlantic around the middle part of the week. Then we head up towards day 10. Most of the rain is in the north and west bend, with southern, central east areas looking rather drier. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensemble today for day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office. It gets us to the 8th of October. 23 members of the ECM ensemble with low pressure way to the north and northwest, high pressure to the south and southwest. So that brings the driest weather into the south, and most showery conditions will be in the north. 21 slightly stronger with the high pressure reaching up from the southwest, bringing a lot of dry weather there. Low pressures away to the northwest. That does include the control and the operational run. And then we've got 7 with high pressure reaching in from the Atlantic into northern Europe. That brings lots of dry weather, but it could be a bit cool with the wind in from an east or northeast direction. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. Lots of them. Gets us to the 13th of October. 11 members of the ECM ensembles have high pressure to the south, low pressure to the north, looking rather showery in the northwest, but drier in the south. 9 with high pressure over Scandinavia. That brings lots of dry weather with it. Winds in from the east. 8 with high pressure just to our west, low pressure to our east. That's going to be mostly dry. It could be a little bit on the cool side. Another 8 with high pressure through the country and out into the North Atlantic. Quite a bit of dry weather with that, but could be a little bit on the cool side again. Winds in from the northwest. Another 8 here with low pressure over the top of the country. That's going to be unsettled and showery. And then 7 with low pressure to the northeast, high pressure to the southwest, and winds are coming in from a west or northwest direction. Again, that could be rather showery and a little bit on the cool side. Finally, the CFSB2, these are 500, so a lot of options by 2 weeks out, but most of the options seem to involve high pressure to some degree. The majority of options seem to be anticyclonic up towards the middle of October. CFSB2 finally means a 500 millibar high tonight, broken down into week periods. The first week period takes us from the 28th of September to the 4th of October. Low pressure to the east, high pressure to the west, looking rather showery and cool in the week ahead. Week 2 is going to be the 5th to the 11th of October with high pressure just to our west and southwest bend, so turning drier and a little bit warmer as well, a little bit milder there too. Week 3 will be the 12th to the 18th of October. Low pressure to the east, high pressure to the west-southwest. Probably a bit showery with that, with winds in from the northwest. And then week 4 is going to be the 19th to the 25th of October with low pressure in over top of the country, high pressure down towards Spain. So it's going to be westerly, rather wet, windy, probably quite mild. Notice it is raising the heights over the northern latitudes with quite a bit of blocking there, but up to that point, not in a position to deliver anything particularly cold for us. With that, if you enjoyed the video, then please can you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. Why not drop a comment? Let us know what you think this all of our videos. I mean, thank you so much everyone for doing that. Right, so that's it for today's video. Tomorrow we'll have 6 AM upload. We will have the European outlook as well, detailed look at the weather for the next week, 10 days across Europe, and a 10 to 14 day or two. So more content to come tomorrow. If you give us a sub, you will be able to see future weather content, by the way, so why not consider doing that if you have not yet done so. But for this video, for today's videos, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.